What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris. With me,
Tired Liam.
I'm too, hence the bang here today. Not normally an energy drink needing, but today I did need one. Let us know where you're coming in from, and if you're first time here, definitely drop a hi. If you're returning, say what's up in the comments below. If you're returning, you know, this is more of a conversation than it is us preaching to you. We really love movies, we love sharing them, we love talking about them, and so we're gonna share and talk about them with you. TV shows as well, which we're gonna be doing here today. And just really excited to dive into this one because growing up, this was something I was drawn to. I liked it. I thought it was really well done. Stuck with it for many seasons, and it became quite the cult classic. He's probably one of the most well-known and well-liked fictional serial killers to ever exist.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. And who are we talking about? Dexter Morgan. We're diving into Dexter Original Sin today. For episodes 1 and 2, we're going to do 2 episode drops until we're caught up, then we'll move on to 1. Let us know what you guys thought of episode 1 and 2. We're going to dive into them right now. Dude, I think they did an uncanny job picking the actors for this freaking show.
That was my first thought too.
I was like, did they just like rewind time? Like they got younger versions of these people. Mm-hmm. Obviously not. They're different actors. Like I'm not crazy. I mean, maybe a little bit, but what a like Angel Batista. I was like, dude, he even acts just like him.
Yeah.
Same with Matsuka. The laugh and everything.
Yep. But okay, I don't know if it's because I took my edible while I was watching it or not.
That always helps.
Yeah, it does. But I don't know. But there are points I'm like, man, this dude's fucking perfect. And then there's like hints of moments later on where I'm like, he's playing it too much. And then I go back to, oh, he's perfect again. And then, oh, he's playing it up too much. It's every once in a while, it feels like they're trying too hard. Again, I don't know if it's just the edible or what.
Maybe. Let us know in the comments. Did you guys get that same impression? Because I didn't feel that. But there's many times where we have differing opinions on things. So I'm interested to see what you guys think. I think the using Michael C. Hall's voice as a narrator of his mind so that it gives us that connection definitely helps. Let us know. Like, I think that's great. So obviously, we get the little cameo of him in the beginning as they resurrect him and show him he's still alive. He's not dead, right? And that's teeing up the next series that they're doing, which is Dexter Resurrection, which is at least a year out still, summer of 2025. So right now we have origins, like we have his origins, so we're going back in time.
I feel like the one with his son flopped, that spinoff.
New Blood.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that one. I thought that was really good.
I never watched it. Can't say.
No?
Never watched
okay. I enjoyed it. I was disappointed they didn't come back with a second season. But I do like at the beginning, they tie this all together with him essentially flatlining in the hospital. Mm-hmm. Emergency turns to emerge, and it talks about the flashback. Mm-hmm. So there was an anime I watched a long time ago called Berserk.
I've heard of it.
And essentially, it's a loop. You can start it at any point, and it just circles round and round. So they're talking about the flashback where he's dying. He's talking about life flashing before your eyes.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what this season is. It's just a one giant flashback to where he came from.
Yeah.
And how he was raised. I thought that was really cool. And I feel like they're setting it up to re-spark all the old interest in the original Dexter.
Yeah, so I love that. But my main concern with that, when I was watching that whole thing play out, and then I realized that this was basically a tee-up trailer for another series they're making. I thought to myself, I'm like, are we about to watch a series that is doomed to never have a season 2?
I don't know. There's so many different ways they can go with it, though.
Because then, what's what I'm thinking about it? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Because either they're going to run Resurrection and Original Sin simultaneously, like one in the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year, like kind of thing, both in the same year though, and keep running both shows, or like you just said, which is kind of what my brain was thinking, they're using this to stir up interest to bring Dexter back after that fatal fail of that other season, and then bring all that interest back so that when they launch Resurrection and they bring Michael C. Hall's character back as Dexter, older Dexter, then they don't have to worry. They have that fan base there, and they don't have to worry about it flopping again. I'm really interested to see if they will give this a season 2, or if it is just a filler, really, until we go to Resurrection.
So, for me, there's another series that I really enjoy that does that very well. It's I had to look up the exact title of each of the different ones. It's Power Book with Ghost. So there's that Power
trailer. Yep. Seen a trailer for it.
Then there's the Power Book Ghost. Then there's Raising Canaan. And there's a few other ones. The Force, like, it is all really good. And they're all the same universe. And all start with one series. And when one ends, which I love about this, the new season for one of these spin-off parts comes out. So pretty almost all year you can kind of watch it. There's always like a couple a month gap between series and stuff, but essentially you can watch your show all year round in the same universe, which is really fun to me.
Yeah.
So if they did that with Dexter, I think that would be phenomenal as well. I would totally tune in.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I'd like to know. Like, what do you guys think in the comments?
Because they can feed into each other too in the storyline.
Yeah.
So when one's off, we're getting gaps filled in that get, or new questions coming up that can be answered in the next season spinoff that's coming out or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like the 4 shows and they keep coming out. Power Book Ghost, that saga ended, but the continuation is his son and his best friend who ultimately betrayed him, blah, 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 and all this fun stuff. But it just continues the narrative in the story, which is fun. And that's what I see that they did really well that they could do here with Dexter. Maybe even Dune.
Dune has a lot of potential. I know we don't want to dive into that, obviously, on this video.
I don't think I would have ever said that before.
Yeah, but with all the books and different factions and families, there's a lot of potential there. But we're done with that series. We're into the new one. If you want to check it out, though, we have a whole playlist on Dune. We just finished up that on HBO, Dune Prophecy. But when it comes to Dexter, I think it's kind of interesting because the show itself was well written, like the original show. And so Dexter's we did meet him he's already a serial killer, well into his life of taking the lives of those who were not, or hurting others, right? He's well into that. But we do get tons of backstory on him throughout the seasons. Like, we understand he's orphan, basically. His mother was butchered by the cartel, by the chainsaw, most traumatic thing. And then Harry adopts him, brings him in. Harry understands from a very young age that he has these tendencies, so he sculpts him into this humane serial killer, basically. He has a code, right? So we understand who he is, why he is the way he is, his backstory, where he comes from. We know all that. So it's, to me, the task of keeping this interesting and still keeping new information coming in, I was kind of concerned on how they were going to do that, and I was keeping an eye for it. And I think they're doing a phenomenal job of staying true to a lot of that backstory and the knowledge that we do have, while still diving deeper and giving us new stuff. I understand a little bit more about why Harry was so die-hard to help and protect Dexter. I always thought he felt bad because of the traumatic experience he had. Makes sense. But it goes even deeper because Harry had his own traumatic experience of losing his own first child. So now he will do anything not to lose another child, to not have to push them away, lose them, not be there to love and care for them. So it makes a lot more that. I thought there's elements that they are bringing in that just add to the story without ruining what was already there, that I think they're doing a really good job of. And that's why, as we're going through this, I'm thinking to myself, I really hope this isn't a filler season, because there's a lot of avenues of things that we can explore here that would be fun.
I was concerned when I saw that Christian Slater was on the docket for this. I wasn't sure how well he was going to fit in. Don't get me wrong, I like Christian Slater as an actor. I just was concerned for this role because the one who played Harry in the original, he did such a good job. He's pretty much irreplaceable, in my opinion.
Yeah, very iconic role. I think Christian Slater's doing a decent job.
I think he's doing a very good job.
I mean, we'll see, right? We're only 2 episodes in so far, and as we go down and progress. So that's another thing that's interesting about prequels, is we already know the fate of these characters because we've seen into the future, and so now it's just seeing how it plays out, right? So we'll see.
First episode is a whole lot of the backstory, and second episode, which we're talking about also in this, is his first kill.
Well, he kills what's her name at the end of the first episode. Mary.
Cheryl was the first episode, and he still got.
He hasn't killed it. He didn't kill anybody in episode 2. He's teeing up to kill.
Gotcha. I thought they waited for the kill for second episode again.
I forget his name, but he's the guy who is basically exploiting the Cuban immigrants.
Yeah.
Ferreira. something like that. Yeah,
Ferre.
they're teeing up for him to be the next victim. But I like it was. I don't know. Let us know what you thought about this in the comments. I thought it was fun. I mean, if you're obviously a fan of this channel, you might have the same humor where he's kind of talking about his first kill as if it was his first time losing his virginity, and he was like, "And mine was an older woman."
Yes, I like those little nods.
Yeah.
But I also love how they're really showing that stronger bond forming between him and Deb. Because when we see them in the future, they're inseparable.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And I guess before this point, they weren't so much like that. They kind of bickering teenagers. Yeah, they love each other maybe, but they still kind of hate each other too. And just picking on each other. Well, more Deb than him. He
Yeah.
just doesn't care.
Emotionally disconnected, like all good sociopaths.
Yes, but I don't think he's a true sociopath, as we saw in the original Dexter. It was built from trauma, so it's not like a chemical thing, I think.
No, I mean the show itself definitely leads you to believe that it's trauma related. So like, yeah, 100%.
The whole thing of him going to the party and all that, Deb wants to just go drink, have fun, be stupid. She wants to experience life. And I love the swearing. I think the actress is doing a pretty good job of that. But
Yeah.
she's the only one that, to me, was like, you could have done a little bit better job making it look exactly the same as the other one.
I think, and again, like we always have different opinions on certain things. I think that this show, all around, obviously Christian Slater doesn't look anything like him, and he's also not old enough or young enough to be that different. That's my only gripe with this. But everyone else is like, wow, you guys did a really good job finding these people. And then the costumes make it, right? So like putting them in the exact same outfits that we're used to seeing them in as they're older definitely helps a lot.
Yes.
Which is probably why Batista stands out so much to me. Because like that goatee just looks like a younger version in the exact same clothes. Yeah. Well, what I wanted to say real quick though is that I just think that because of the mannerisms and the way she acts, she could just be the awkward, chunkier teen version of older Deb. Right? Because we have these like weird growth spurts and like different things that we go through in our teens, and so she could just be like developing into Deb, right? So, but everyone else is so identical that I could see that you could probably make that describe.
My favorite line for her, though, was when they're in the hospital. Dad just had a heart attack, right? And talking to the doctor, she curses. The doctor says, "Fuck, excuse my French." And she goes, "Oh, no, your French is excellent."
Dude, I wanted to write that down. I'm like, that's a good line.
Your French is excellent.
Oh, no, it was excellent.
She put that line out there so well.
Yeah.
But getting ahead of ourselves, I just wanted to bring that up because you were talking about Deb,
Yeah.
and that was one of my favorite scenes with her in it, that she was a huge piece of, that she did phenomenal. And so they're at this party. Dexter doesn't want to go. Deb certainly does. And so the father's like, "Yeah, well, you can't go unless Dexter goes." Dad wants to get him out there and socialize more with real people his own age and kind of act like his age and a kid, I guess, or a college kid.
Yeah.
Right? And so they go to this party. Dexter's just kind of doing his own thing, and Deb's getting fucking hammered. Ends up getting too drunk. The guy's like, "Yeah, just go upstairs, crash, you'll be fine."
They put it like the straight up frat boy trope into this episode.
They certainly did. And then the best friend comes out and goes to tell Dexter, like, "Hey, look, shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
Need to go help your sister, please. I can't do anything."
Yeah, door's locked. I can't get in. Your sister's in there. Yeah.
So Dexter goes up there, breaks the door down, and sees him with his pants down, sister laying on the bed, skirts
Slightly exposed. Yeah.
Yeah, so he throws him down the stairs and gets his first taste of blood.
Dude, he beats that dude in
Yeah.
like pretty nicely. Yeah.
And then he causes his father's heart attack.
Did he? I don't know. Because as they're walking, there are several times where the father like slows down and stops. I think like he was having the heart attack, and then him talking about acting on the violence kind of just like triggers it.
Yeah, that's false.
Yeah.
Yeah, it set it over the edge.
Yeah.
Like he was already in a hypertensive state, and then just that new information and the fear that the father must be going through. I mean, he's constantly battling himself because he knows Dexter. He knows what he does for a living, police, law, strict guidelines, right? Most police officers, I like to believe, have a strong ethics code of right and wrong?
I would think so. That's why they choose that as a line of work.
Some.
I would like to think more that I would like to think that because we highlight the negative, the corrupt cops, the people who were bullied in school now bully others kind of thing, the whole like narcissistic personality, like that type of cop, I would like to think is a small percentage, but they're highlighted because it's negative, and we like to put the light on things that are negative. I'll tell you, growing up in a small town in New York, you did have cops who were like, I was the shit in high school and I'm not anymore, and so now I need to beat everybody up and be powerful again. Like we did have those guys, right? But for the majority of the time, they were nice, like they were nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tangent I didn't want to go on, but okay.
I'm there now. Here we go.
And so he is in constant turmoil with himself and wanting to do right by Dexter. He loves Dexter, as you said, the trauma of losing a child, and I believe the relationship he formed with his CI in all those life-threatening situations, that bond, which you could probably relate to very much being a combat veteran, right?
I don't know if I could relate to the bond of a CI, but definitely like it's trauma bonding is what it is. Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at,
Yeah.
is that kind of bond.
Yeah.
Like you're in combat together, essentially cops and CIs. That's almost like a combat zone, just localized, right?
I mean, I think any time in the military, military is a good example of that, because even in training, like you train with a unit of like I was gonna say boys, but men. Like when we were young boys when we did it, but 18. But if you're training with a unit of men, like that, you become like brothers, right? Because you're eating, shitting, sleeping, working, training, relying on each other. So you become like brothers. I think trauma just like speeds up that process, right? It like skips a lot of the reps and puts you at the end. Yeah.
So he's in constant conflict with that, and that's why I see him taking everything so hard. Even when he finds out about Dexter's true feelings of the first kill, he breaks down, starts bawling.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he says it again later in episode 2, and he like flips it on him. He's like, oh, I'm so glad that you're getting it out of your system and you're ready to move on. And Dexter, like laying in bed at the end of the episode, like, I'm not ready to move on. Like,
No,
all I can think about is doing that again. Yeah.
I just got my tape.
Yeah. And then he goes and grabs his trophies, which I think one of the reasons I do love this show, again, is because we're getting an idea of how Dexter becomes so good at what he does, like how he becomes so meticulous, so like by the book. He knows what he's doing, and he does it right now, right? The very first kill, yeah, he lays the plastic out, classic Dexter plastic room. He's gonna kill somebody, but he doesn't know how to do it yet, right? So she walks in, she sees him, it's a fumble, it's a fight. Eventually does knock her out and put her on a table like he always does, but he's fumbling through the situation. He doesn't know what he's doing yet. Keeps a trophy that now is in the sister's best friend's hands, which we all know that's going to end up being bad. Otherwise, there was no reason to show us that happening. So we see the progression. We see like where like he wasn't always methodical and clean. He had a lot of missteps along the way. He took trophies when he shouldn't have, which I want to see we know when he switches to blood slides, because we know the exact victim in which he starts doing that. But I want to know, like, obviously we'll see it throughout the season, but like what were the missteps and how did he learn to be the Dexter he is? I think that's interesting that we're doing that.
And I also like that they're continuing with the flashbacks, even in this. Like they're going way younger for Christian Slater, for Harry, and all that stuff. So it's a great experience so far. The whole time I see Mata, I keep thinking his character had to have inspiration of Master Roshi. Like he's the embodiment of Master Roshi right there.
Oh, for those of you guys who know Master Roshi is, put a 1 down in the comment, and then drop a 1. Actually, put a 1 down in the comment if you know who Master Roshi is, and then put a 3 right next to it if you agree, because yes, 100%. That over the top, just horn dog. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, like I said, for a show that already had so much backstory and so much depth and so much of a fan base, I think they're doing a really good job of like still finding ways to give us new information and dive deeper into cool things, and then also show us like the missteps and the things that are happening that led Dexter to be who he is. Not who he is, but like how good he is at what he is, which again, everyone's favorite fictional serial killer.
Yes. This is him utilizing the code and figuring out what works for him with the code.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's not quite perfected quite yet.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing.
We're watching him build it, build it in and like work it out. It's pretty, like, I think that part of the series is interesting to me.
We are playing catch up because we're quite a few episodes behind, but
We'll be back on track by next week. We'll be good to go.
yeah, I know. Just letting them know.
Oh, now you know.
Letting them know. That's all.
I'm like, wait a second, we'll be on track soon.
We will. We have it. We have a plan.
Yeah.
Came up with a plan before we dove into the series, but we, by God, have a fucking plan.
Build the plan, execute the plan, throw out the plan, do whatever.
Fair enough. That's episode 1. 2, if you guys want to dive deeper, we most certainly can. But as I mentioned, we are playing catch up right now, and we'll be caught up by next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I want to put out there.
It's been a good experience so far. We're still finishing up Silo as well, so look forward to seeing a Silo episode 8 discussion dropping at the end or in the end of this week. We'll have that out. But going down into Dexter Original Sin. If you guys are excited to dive into this series with us as we catch up and then move forward as the episodes drop, go ahead, put a 4 in the comments for me. Anything else to add, brother?
We're almost at 10K.
Yes. We are going to hit 10,000 subscribers. That was the goal. That was the mission. And we are well on our way to do that. Tomorrow is the new year.
I'm hoping to have it before then.
And our goal is to hit it before then. So if you are not subscribed and you have made it this far, what the hell are you doing? Hit the subscribe button. We can drop videos every week. And we would really appreciate that because we want to hit 10K and keep this channel going. It's been a hell of a ride this last year. We've grown by 9,000 subscribers.
More than 9,000 subscribers because we had only like 100 when we started.
No, I thought we had like two, 3.
No. We had like 68 or 70 or something like that when we first started doing the podcast.
Well, how about that, folks? How about that? Very cool stuff, and it's all because of you guys tuning in, listening, engaging in the comments, sharing these videos, and being a part of the G-Spot community. We really appreciate you guys. Took us a long time to find it, but we're glad you did too. But if you guys are really enjoying this, we're going to have a whole series of it dropping. But until then, we just finished reviewing Dune. You can check out the entire HBO series of Dune Prophecy right here. I really enjoyed it. We got Liam hooked on the universe. We're breaking it all down. If you want to see even more, check that out there. Also, like I mentioned, we're still reviewing Silo. We just did episode 7. 8 will drop at the end of this week, but you can check out the whole playlist right here, as well as something interesting you might like right above my head. You can check that out as well, but always don't forget to subscribe. If you really love this video, share it with a friend. Really appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that little notification bell so you don't miss a single episode, and we will see you guys on the next video. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.